welcome everyone. Welcome to Kadha, where we believe that everyone has an amazing story, and what an amazing story we have for you today. Tanu, thank you so much for being with us on Kadha today. We are so excited to have you. Tanu is a long-time childhood friend of mine. She's an absolute sweetheart. She also happens to be an award-winning actress. She's a consultative sales professional in the media industry and has been for 25 years, I think. And, all in all, she's super fashionable. Whenever I go to an event, I look to Tanu to set the bar there. So I think everyone's going to have a great time listening to her journey. Once again, welcome Tanu, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Julie. It's really amazing to be here and to be a part of your journey, and especially Katha. It's something that, I think we all would say that it's something as a part of our lives, would like to be a part of that. In terms of my fashion sense, I never thought of it that way, but I suppose I got it from my mother because she used to always be well dressed and won a lot of awards around that for, different events that she's been in. And as being childhood friends, of course, it's been amazing to, still continue our friendship from when we were very little, I think, and to now.
First grade, I think.
Yeah, it's been really, really fantastic. So it's great to be here.
Thank you again, Tanu. So let's get started. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey, sort of in your own words?
Okay, so I think when before we started, I was telling you that I'm so used to talking to people and asking and listening to other people that I'm not used to talking about myself. So it's going to be a bit of a, I think I did that and then I did this kind of journey. But then, yes, to start off, actually, I am the youngest of three daughters. And my parents were, they're really cosmopolitan. So I think I had a good and open upbringing. So that, and they were also very interested in what kind of education we had and making us very confident individuals. So I think I would say that I benefited from it as an individual myself. And as you said, earlier, friendly. So that's me. Whenever I go anywhere, I love to meet people, talk to them, and, understand what they're all about because I'm interested in learning about new things. I am a friendly person, and I when I go out, people think that, I'm an extrovert and that, I'm all that, but actually I'm a secret introvert. So at times I would love to just sit at home and not talk to anybody, read a book or watch TV and, just be in my own mind. So having said that, so in school, the journey was basically, I was told that I was smart, but I never put too much effort into my education because it came quite easily. And the whole thing was in the 90s, it was either you were an engineer or a doctor. And so, that was what you were asked to become. And then and my choice was, of course, engineering. I did go for the engineering entrance exam, but as I did with my rest of the things, I didn't actually put an effort into it to write that exam. And with millions of people across the country writing, for that exam, as it would happen, you didn't get the really good ranks, so you couldn't go into. So then I chose to go into mathematics. And from there, once you did bachelor's in mathematics, the only other course was either, do something more or become a teacher. And that was not something that I wanted to do, but I did have interest in design. So I moved to Bangalore to actually learn AutoCAD, 2D and 3D animation, because at that time it was, computers coming in and it was really exciting. while I was there, somebody mentioned about a job at the Times of India, which is one of the largest publishing houses in the world. And they said there was a job there. And I thought that I was actually applying for an accounting role because, somebody said because of your math background and things like that. So I applied for the job. When I went there for the interview, I realized that it was actually an account manager and in sales accounting. And I was like, so I'm not really interested in sales. But as things would have it, I had 2 interviews in 2 days and I was offered a job. And, this was the first time that I've been out of my, kind of secluded and safe haven of, my family. Especially in Kerala, coming from this thing. And I was offered this job in Bangalore, which at that time was a really cosmopolitan place for everyone to be. And I was like...
And the pub capital of Asia.
Oh, yes. So and then you were just like... I was just like... I have to take this opportunity and I have to do something. So I said yes. And then I called up my parents and I said, listen, I'm going to be... I've got a job and I'm going to take it. My mother was mortified and she was like, oh my God, no, you have to come back. And my father was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. And that's how I joined the Times of India, had a 10-year fantastic career with them, learned a lot of things and grew and, I had really good colleagues and senior people, from whom I could learn. And also I met my future husband there. So, that was also a really good thing. Plus working in media industry, it's not like that now because, I've worked in media industry for 25 years. I can tell you how it's changed. Back in the days, if you were in the media industry, it was one of the most fantastic places to be in because you were either partying all the time because you had to entertain your clients, or they were inviting you for, for events, and so you got to go to a lot of good events. So as a person who started working, it was really exciting, because all these different things were there. So that's where I was in Bangalore 10 years ago. Not 10 years ago, for 10 years. And then my husband was offered to move to, London with the company. So I moved with him and we've been here now for more than 16 years now. So that's my journey. And after I came here, I started working with other, British media companies and big institutions here, which was really exciting, and it was a change in terms of the work culture, etc. But it was really exciting and adventurous.
I think I recently saw, I think maybe about a couple of years ago, you were working as a director of sales for a company that was helping women entrepreneurs or just women in general succeed and provide a platform for them, right? Like, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I was working for it's actually an e-learning platform, and basically what the organization did was that it worked with corporates to help advance women within their organization. So, even in the UK, I can't remember the exact thing, but I think it's only 4% of the top executive level are women, and so there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. So there was a commission that was done in the 1990s which said that they needed diversity and inclusion in boards of companies, and based on that there were lots of findings, and this company was established at that time to then help corporates create programs within their organization to help advance women and give them the support, because there's that saying that you can only be what you see. So if you don't see women on the boards, or if you don't see other genders or other people from other races on the board, then you will never imagine that you can also do it. So that was the thing. So I joined the organization because they wanted to expand into India, and I had my experience of being in India. So I joined the organization to help them expand into India. And so my whole mission was to identify key women across India who were in corporate organizations, sign them on as founding ambassadors, and also do a round table with some of these top women to understand what the need for empowerment in India looked like, because each country it's different, but it was really surprising to find that most of the women in India, and previously we had done something in Dubai and here in the UK, what they all said was that they needed role models, and they needed buy-in from the board, and they needed champions, and they also needed male allies. So those were some of the things that we found, and we realized that the countries may be different, the kind of work culture is also different, but the underlying or the main factors are the same across the world, because there's a lot of things that needs to be done on that. So we did this round table, and I wrote a white paper on that, around that, on what women in India needed, following which we did a one-day conference where again we had people from different areas, so not only women, but we also had men who were helping within their organization come in and talk about how this can be done, and we had some workshops around it. So that was really exciting.
I know you had a passion for traveling, but being in the media industry helped you sort of hit those aspirational goals, if you had any, as it pertains to travel. Is that true? Like, do you think being in a sales role and in the media industry helped you sort of travel and get around the globe a lot more?
Yeah, so it really depends on what kind of media industry you are in. So I've been in a couple of roles. I think the main ones that I really had a lot of travel in was the one where I was working for a mining price reporting company, and what happened in that bit is that because it's trade related, you have to attend a lot of international fairs and trade conferences and things like that, and that gave me a really good opportunity to travel. And if you love to travel, then it's amazing, but if you don't like to travel, then it's terrible, because 9 months out of 12 you're traveling, and it's not for for a month or anything like that. You pick up your bags and you have to go to Germany, or you have to pack up and you're going to China. I had to go to China, went to Santiago. So just that long distance itself is quite a long way to go. But because I love to travel, I really enjoyed that job. So.
Do you have sort of a count of how many countries you've been to or something? Because I think you've traveled extensively. Is that correct?
Yes, so I was thinking the other day of doing it. I haven't actually done it, but I think I have been to the Far East. I'll tell you, the countries that I've not been to are Australia and New Zealand, and probably somewhere up to the Arctic region. So most of Europe definitely I've done. Russia is another place, but I think I've been to almost all the other continents. So yeah.
Tanu, thank you for sharing your journey with us. That's quite exciting, and there's pieces in it that I still didn't know, so it's great to hear that. So you are an award-winning actress. Oh my goodness. Tell us, what led you to act in a film? Like, you were a sales consultant in the media industry. Math is your background. I know. I really believe you look beautiful today. I wish this was a video podcast. But what led you to acting, right? Like, what led you down that path?
Yeah. So this was something that again was a fate that brought this to my doorstep, kind of thing. So I had put up a picture on Facebook for my birthday that I had gone out with one of our friends, and I got a call from a friend of ours, an ex-colleague's wife, who messaged me and said, I think you'll be perfect for the lead role in my next film. And I was like, ha ha ha, what are you talking about? What a joke, nice joke, thanks. But thank you for, appreciating my picture. And she was like, no, I'm really serious about it. And then, so I wasn't really sure what if it was true or not. So I just said, I have to ask Bharat about it, because I have to check with him if he's okay and things like that. She said, okay. And I said, I'll get back to you tomorrow or day after, because at that time Bharat was traveling and he was in America. And so, there was a time lag and things like that. And then 2 hours later, she messages me back and says, Bharat says okay. And I'm like, you talked to Bharat before I did? So that's how it came about. And basically what Bharat said is that, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. You were not looking at it, but it's come to your doorstep. It's something that you could do. If you like to do it, you can go ahead and do it. And as luck would have it, I was in between jobs at that time, so I didn't have to, kind of take time out from work or do any of those things. And that's how I agreed and said, yes, I'd love to do it.
Some of these extraordinary stories do happen like that, right? Like it's just out of the blue and it just happens, and then you're like, wow, there's no looking back. Personally for you, obviously, I think Bharat was spot on in terms of, it being an opportunity, an adventure. You should go try it out, just like your dad told you when you got the job in Bangalore. But how did you make the leap? Like, were you nervous at any point? And how did you overcome any of the questions that came up in your head? What made you kind of go, yeah, I'm committed, I'm going to go make it happen?
I was nervous, yes, absolutely. But there are a couple of things. So one of the things is, again, it's in my nature that when we go out to whether it's a party or a networking event, I always, even though I'm afraid, I always just take the leap and go and say, hi, I'm here, hello, how are you? So so that's the kind of person I am, and so that helped me in the first step. And the other thing is that one of my math teacher used to tell me that I always went for the difficult problem. I left all the easy problems and I always looked at the difficult one. So I love a challenge, and so that was another part of it. Plus, I'm sure we have acted in so many amateur plays in school, so that was a background for me. But I did take a lot of, because I had that time, I read the script, I did a lot of research in terms of how that my emotions would come through. And it was really good also the fact that the story was about a couple, and so I had personal experience of that. So and I did quite a bit of on my own, some rehearsals of how I would act to it, how I would emote each of these different areas, and so that kind of prepared me. But I was still a little worried because my co-actor, he had acted in theater, and he had done other stuff, and he was supposed to be a creative person and things like that, and so I was just a little worried about how that would work. But when we finally met and we went through the whole thing together, it kind of worked really well. And luckily for me, because of the practice that I did before, I had so when the director, when she said, oh, can we try it in a different way, I had that idea of how I could do it. So I would say that's those are some of the things. So thankfully, I like a challenge, and along with the challenge, I with everything that I do, I always research it before I do something more. So yeah.
So you like challenging yourself, and you made sure you were prepared. You did the hard work up front rather than kind of figuring it out then.
Absolutely, because I think as a person, I'm a little maybe I'm a little, I feel I'm a little averse to change. So sometimes it takes me a long time to do something different, although I know I have to do it. I have to like think it through, and because I think deep down we are all perfectionists. And so it kind of, that's where the thing, but here I just thought that, you know what, I'm really going to throw everything, all caution to the wind, and just do it.
Can you tell us a little bit about the award itself and the name of the movie and the director?
Yeah, so the movie is called White Bee, as in the buzzing bee, and the director, she's also an award-winning director herself, Shom Shukla. So Shom Shukla, she basically has a lot of accolades to her, from, you know, appearing at doing a poetess. She sings, she writes plays, and then she was also at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and she's done several films, and all of which have got different kinds of awards for it. And as I said, the film is about a couple, so it's a story of this husband and wife who have been estranged for a year, and they are coming back together again to understand whether this marriage is going to work or not, you know, whether they're going to stay in it or break up. And so that's where the whole story, so it's just exploring the different psychology and emotions of two people in a relationship, and, you know, how they see things differently. So so that's what the film is all about. And it was amazing because we filmed it in the south of France, Côte d'Azur. So, you know, we were in amazing locations rather, and then I was I did this, as I said, you know, because it was an opportunity and something to do, never expecting that you know, it would go. I knew she would send it to film festivals, but I never expected to be nominated for anything. And I got nominated at 4 film festivals, and I won the award at Madrid International Filmmakers Film Festival, which was like, you know, it was amazing because I really, really didn't expect it. And some of the people who had been nominated along with me included some really 2 people out there who I actually knew, who were really well known. One was this actress called Lily Cole. She acted as Queen Elizabeth in one of the recent BBC shows that were done. And the other lady is Fiona Shaw. And I don't know if you've seen Killing Eve. So she is the MI5 director in that. So, you know, they were really quite well-known actors, and I was nominated and I won in that nominations. I know. Absolutely. just my debut film, and then against these 2 people, and I was just like, oh wow.
That is incredible. That is just incredible. Do you envision expanding into the film industry, or, you know, taking up acting as a career, maybe a second career? Like, do you kind of, this is fantastic. It provides a platform not just for yourself, but maybe other aspiring actresses. Do you want to do something more in this field? Have you thought about it?
Yes, I have absolutely thought about it. So it's about acting, and I've also thought about, you know, little ideas of doing documentaries, not documentaries, actually short films, more of an educational kind of short film about issues, because, you know, I've worked with empowering women, and I believe in, you know, trying to help children, so just to kind of change mindsets. So I've been interested in those things. In terms of acting, it is, you have to invest a lot of time into it, and you have to be really strong, because you can't do it part-time. So if you're in a relationship, or if you're you know, you have family, you really need to discuss this with everyone before you get into it. And if you're you know, a double income house, and you need that income, then it's going to be quite difficult to do it, because if you want to act, you have to quit your job, and look at doing little things like, maybe doing a contract work somewhere or a temp job somewhere, or like most actors maybe do be a waiter or something like that, because you don't know when they'll call you for an audition and they'll say come at this time, and you'll say it's a 1 hour thing, but you might be waiting for 5 hours, so you can't have a regular job and do it. So if you want to do it, you need to commit yourself to that and get and really take that time out to do it. The second thing that I realized is that to be an actor, I got the role by sheer luck, but to get other roles you really need to have the educational background for it, by which I mean you have to do an acting class, or you have to have done a dance class, or one of those things that can help you, but primarily an acting or a drama class that you have to do. So because I was I did the job, and then I did the acting, and then I got a job, I didn't have the time, so I did a course, a short-term course on acting, screen acting, and I also did a course on accent softening. But proper acting, you have to go to that drama school. And in terms of the other part of it, where I'm looking to do short films, etc., I think, as I said before, change is a bit of a thing for me. So I am, talking myself up to it, and hopefully I'll do that sometime soon.
Fantastic. I look forward to it. I like to end my podcast series just asking this question to whoever I'm talking to, which is, what is the one thing you want to share from your experience with folks that want to pursue an adventure of their own?
I'd say just go for it. Because you don't know how it changes your life. We are all stuck in a rut, and you experience it more now because of the pandemic, and you're stuck in your house, and you realize how much you miss from actually meeting other people and learning new experiences. I would say that if you have the opportunity and the chance to do something adventurous, if you have time to take a gap year or take time off from work, go somewhere, build some houses for people, or join an environmental group and go see the gorillas, or whatever it is that you want, or even just to learn dance, or start elocution classes, or whatever it is, just do it.
Excellent advice, and I agree. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So make the opportunity, make it happen today. This was wonderful, Tanu. I mean, just like you were wondering whether you should take on that acting opportunity, I know that when you and I discussed this podcast, you were like, let me think about it. But this was wonderful, and there's so much of an authentic story here. I think whoever is listening to this podcast is going to gain a lot out of it. So thank you. I know this is a time commitment. I know you're super busy. Thank you for making the time. As always, it was wonderful to listen to your story. Really appreciate it. We wish you the very best. I do hope you go on those adventures that you mentioned. I'm sure great things will come out of it. So thank you again.
No, thank you very much, Julie, for pushing me. And this is really, really great. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks everyone for joining in. That's it from Katha for today. Signing off. Bye-bye.